on engineering and basically the ER&D space, right? Demand may actually be turning a corner. This is according to Tata Tech CEO Warren Harris. He says that the slowdown in global manufacturing investment is beginning to ease with new vehicle programs and order pipelines picking up again. He's also betting big on AI-led productivity, saying that the technology could deliver 2 to 10x efficiency gains, allowing revenues to grow faster than headcount. Listen in.
We're very committed as part of our long-range plan to surrounding the company with an ecosystem of partnerships that one complements the skills and capabilities and the IP that we are developing, but also provides access to customers that we are targeting, and this relationship, I think, satisfies both of those requirements.
How do you see the overall demand scenario there? And have you seen some kind of decision making process now coming on, getting on, because there was a pause on decision making while demand was there?
Yeah, this is a great point, and this is one of the things that we've been sharing with investors in the recent past. We've mobilized an investor roadshow that included interactions with various funds here in India last week. We're going to Singapore next week, and one of the reasons that we are reaching out is just to share our confidence that the demand environment is starting to improve. Over the last couple of years, because of geopolitics and specifically because of the U.S. tariffs and the runoff of incentives, specifically in and around EVs, you've seen many of our customers in automotive, but also in construction equipment and commercial vehicles, revisit their cycle plans and the investment commitments that they're making in product. When customers don't understand what their supply chain costs are going to be, when they have to revisit where they're going to manufacture product, that prompts a lot of indecision and rethink as far as their strategy and operating plans are concerned. So we saw that play out last year. We've seen the green shoots of improvement towards the end of the calendar year, and we've seen a very, very strong start to calendar year 26, and that's manifested itself in improvements in pipeline and specifically order book, given the deal signings that we've celebrated. And one specific lead indicator for us is the number of full vehicles that we've been able to secure over the last couple of years. When customers have not been investing in new product, they have really only been leveraging services that are contributing to the refinement and the improvement of existing vehicles. They're not investing in new. And what we've seen in the last kind of 4 or 5 months is full vehicle opportunities start to build again. And we've been very pleased with the fact we've been able to convert a number of those. And that's what has given us confidence in sequential growth. And we've guided 10% between Q3 and Q4. And we're also guiding double-digit growth in FY27 organically.
How do you look at the current geopolitical scenario, the US-Israel-Iran conflict, which has now entering almost a week now? Do you see some kind of disruption now again coming to the decision-making process because of disruption to the supply chain?
Yeah, well, obviously, any type of geopolitical conflict is going to represent a distractions for the economies that are associated or involved, and I think that it's unfortunate that things have played out in the Middle East as they have. Right now, we are not seeing any impact to customers or supply chain in Europe, North America, or indeed here in Asia. We don't have any direct operations in the Middle East, and I think in the short term, we're unlikely to see any impact as far as our business is concerned. Having said that, if this drags out for weeks and even months, then there's no question that that oil prices are going to spike, and as you suggest, supply chains and dependencies that different customers have in different parts of the world will create headwinds that we didn't anticipate as recently as a couple of weeks ago.
How do you look at revenue contribution from non-auto sector at this point in time? Do you see good traction coming in from that segment for you?
Yeah, we've really celebrated over the last couple of years the growth of our business outside of automotive, and specifically in aerospace. Despite the slowdown in auto, our aerospace business continues to grow somewhat exponentially. Over the last 3-4 years, we've grown our business off a relatively slow or small base. We've almost doubled it every year, and our business now in aerospace is a very important part of our mix. It's led by the relationship that we have with Airbus, but the relationship with Airbus is now precipitating opportunity within their supply chain, and we're also starting to work directly with the propulsion players, specifically in the United States. So our business is growing in volume. It's also diversifying in terms of the capability that we're delivering to the aerospace market and also the customer base. So we're very pleased about the growth and the healthy nature of the volume that we're building in that part of our business.
You spoke about the fact that you expect revenues to grow faster than employee count going forward as you embrace AI. If you can give us a sense of the kind of AI that you are already incorporating in your work, or in the way you're developing models or platforms for operators, whether auto or aerospace or other segments, what is the kind of efficiency gains that are you seeing at this point in time?
Yeah, well, I think if we look at our strategy as far as AI is concerned, I think it's really driven by two vectors. One, we are rolling out an AI platform and wrapper inside of Tata Technologies. This is a suite of tools that we are making accessible to all of our employees, and we're providing the opportunity for employees and functional teams to build agents that will accelerate productivity. And in that area, we're seeing the type of productivity improvement range from somewhere in and around 2 to 3x to, in some areas and some components of the value chain, we're actually seeing 8 to 9 to 10x improvements in terms of productivity. The other part of our strategy is to really build lighthouse initiatives that reinforce the proposition that we represent to our customers. And so in this area, one of the things that we are looking to do is leverage AI to enable us to deliver China cost, China speed, and European quality to the automotive industry in the context of full vehicles. So we're developing an orchestration layer that will underpin the NPI process that supports new product introduction, and we're underpinning that with a suite of agents and connectors that will act as an orchestration layer. That's just one example of what we're doing. We've rolled out AI as far as a sales assist tool for one of our customers here in India to help their salespeople in the dealership sell their product and do competitive analysis of components and subsystems with their competitors. We've also deployed AI in manufacturing plants where we've deployed sensors, collected data, and leveraged AI to identify insights that have accelerated manufacturing productivity. And in those areas, again, the productivity improvement is material. We're seeing improvements of of 40 and 50%, which in a manufacturing context is a major step forward.
When we spoke to you after the Q3, you said Q3 is an inflection point with global ER&D spending expected to grow in the long term. Do you still you stand by the guidance of 10% growth in services and 16% EBITDA margins for Q4, given the kind of geopolitics which we are in now?
Yeah, we do. We're in the blackout period before the end of Q4, and so I'm not going to be too specific. But we stand by the guidance that we provided. Notwithstanding what's going on within the Middle East, market demand is improving. We are expecting that momentum to take us into a positive start to FY27. As I referenced before, we see double-digit growth organically next year, and we see the ES-Tec acquisition being additive as far as that is concerned. So we're expecting volume and top line improvement, and we're expecting that translate to the bottom line improvement sequentially and year on year. And we expect at the end of next year to be back to the margins that we had in FY25. So this, we believe, is the start of a return to the type of consistent growth and margin improvement that we saw before the geopolitical events that have really underpinned the softness that we've seen in the global manufacturing space over the last couple of years.